Next tonight, the young woman who knows that without a lung transplant, she has just 2 years to live. New figures show that 1 in 3 patients with a degenerative lung condition dies waiting for a transplant.
Emma Kingston from Leicestershire doesn't want to be one of them. She is supporting a new campaign to get more donors. Our health correspondent Rob Sissons reports.
It's Emma's lungs. She was born with cystic fibrosis. They get clogged with mucus, are prone to infection. She's often in the Glenfield Hospital having this, intravenous antibiotics.
Your lung capacity degenerates over time, and mine's now below 30%, which is sort of less than 2 Coke cans.
She dreams of her phone ringing with the offer of a lung transplant to extend her life. Doctors say more of us should think about signing up to the organ donor register. At the moment, not all donated lungs end up being used.
And some of them are not suitable because they have been damaged as part of road traffic accidents or as part of their intensive care treatment from the donors. But you know, a lot of them could be used with some of the new exciting techniques which are coming online at the moment.
Emma from Desford is one of more than 9,000 people living with what is the most common inherited disorder in the UK. 1 in 25 of us is a carrier of the cystic fibrosis gene. Most of us don't know it, so if 2 carriers have a baby, then there's a 1 in 4 chance it'll have cystic fibrosis. 1 in 2,500 babies are born with it. Well, here at the Glenfield there are other young people with cystic fibrosis on this specialist ward at the moment, but the cruel thing about the condition is because of the risk of infection, they can't mix with each other. Emma says without a transplant, she's likely to die young.
I've basically got a couple of years to live, really, so without it, there is no future for me. And I'd like to run a marathon, so that's my challenge if I get a transplant.
Rob Sissons, BBC East Midlands Today, Leicester.
Let's hope she does. Earlier, I spoke to Matthew Shoamimo from the Cystic Fibrosis Trust about why we lag behind Europe when it comes to lung transplants. I asked him what more can be done.
Emma's case highlights the fact that 1 in 3 people with cystic fibrosis who are eligible for a transplant are actually dying on the waiting list. And the Cystic Fibrosis Trust believes this situation is absolutely unacceptable. And we need to look at the reasons why we are lagging behind other countries in the European Union in terms of our rate of transplantation. One of the reasons is that other countries have what's called a soft opt-out policy, whereby unless someone has said during their lifetime that they object to their organs being used for transplantation on their death, that those organs are in fact made available.
In the meantime, is there anything else the NHS could be doing to maximise the number of lung transplants available? Does the NHS have the technology?
Well, the Cystic Fibrosis Trust has highlighted this week that we have a really significant shortfall whereby only 20% of the lungs that are actually being offered for transplant are actually being transplanted. One of the things that the National Health Service could do is make more widely available the services that can resize organs, because with people with cystic fibrosis, a key problem is the fact that they generally are smaller than the bodies of their potential lung transplant donors because of the impact that cystic fibrosis has on their digestion system. So what the Trust would like to see is made more widely available is the services that can resize organs and therefore increase the likelihood that we will raise the transplantation rate.
Matthew Shoamimo talking to me a little earlier.